Good day, gamers. Fortain here, and welcome to episode 26 of Minecraft, the Betweenlands. Hello, everyone. Oh, I am doing well, and I hope you're doing well as well. On today's episode of Escape the Betweenlands, we're going to be brewing yet another elixir in our goal for 100% completing this mod and as many other parts of the mod pack as we can. We are going to be heading out to the Sludgeon to at least get started on that. It is a pretty long dungeon, so it's probably going to take a couple episodes to do completely. We're also going to do some little minor stuff here and there. I've got some item scrolls to animate. Might craft a thing or two because, as we know, the elixir takes a little while to brew. So we're going to do a few things while we're waiting for that. So first off, we're going to be making the Elixir of Feasting, which basically regenerates your saturation meter. This, along with the Elixir of Regen, will pretty well keep me topped up, keep my health topped up through a good amount of a boss fight. It consists of Selwyn, Ordonis, and Yeowyn. The Selwyn is the potency. The Ordonis is the duration, and then the Yeowyn is essentially extra. Did the math already. We've got 2 bottles of 3.0 Selwyn, which will get us to potency 2. I've got 3 bottles of 5.0 Ordonis, which should get me a high duration 3. And then the 1.5 of Yeowyn is simply just... simply just to make sure we get up to the 4.5... divisor for the amounts of everything that we're putting in there. This should get me about 15 bottles of potency 2, high duration 3, saturation regeneration. So my food bar should not go down for a good while I'm like running around and jumping and things like that. So we'll go ahead and get it started brewing. Like I said, while it is brewing, we'll be working on a few other small things. Yes, like I said, I am doing well, and I hope you are doing well as well. Looking forward to making this potion, as it has been with the last few elixirs. I'm saying potion, elixir, I use them interchangeably because standard Minecraft, they're potions, and here they're elixirs. You know what I'm talking about. The Ordonis is being a bit of a pain in the butt to get. Not because it's hard necessarily, it's just that the quantity of Ordonis, because that controls the duration in a lot of these, I need a lot of Ordonis to be able to get as high a duration as I can for these elixirs. But the amount of things that have Ordonis in it, there's a fair amount of things that have Ordonis in it, but they're usually in pretty small quantities compared to the other things that are in it, like Yeowyn, Selwyn, and Viaris, which is the corruption one. So I end up having to brew several brewings of insert ingredient here just to get to the 5.0 Ordonis, the multiple bottles of 5.0 Ordonis that I need to be able to get the high duration for these elixirs. Obviously, that'll all go away once I'm able to get my hands on the stuff needed to be using the Aspectrus fruits to make the Aspectrus seeds to be making the Aspectrus fruits, so that way I'll be able to grow out just Ordonis. Still not there yet. So that's part of what we're going into the Sludgeon for, is some of the materials that are only found within the Sludgeon are required to do that. So it is a work in progress. Just have to deal with the fact that it takes a while to get all the Ordonis, but that's all right. It's again something that I leave for just the off-camera brewing. You all don't need to see me, sitting here for about 20-30 minutes or so, brewing out a bunch of things just to get the Ordonis that I need for the recipe I'm working on. Speaking of brewing, this should be done pretty soon it's gone from a nice lightish teal green blue to a nice dark blue here, and then momentarily it should switch over to the final color. Just wait for that to happen. There we go. Ooh, it's a nice gold color. I like that. Finish the final stir. 1, 2, 3. There's all my bottles back. Go ahead and put these in there. The infusion time of 1:38. Plenty of Celoin, plenty of Ordonis, enough Yeowin to make sure everything is good. Alright, and that'll just percolate for a while. While we wait for that to do its thing, we're going to take the life crystal. We've got a bunch of sulfur that we can use to go ahead and animate some of the life or item scrolls that we've been finding. Let's go ahead and grab that. We will grab said item scrolls and see what goodies we get from them. We do have enough White's Hearts to be able to keep the life crystal pretty full durability. I'm not going to animate like every single one of these, but I figure I'll animate at least a few of them just while we wait, because as we've seen, the elixirs take a few minutes to fully brew. There's not really anything that I'm like hoping to get in specific from these item scrolls. At this point, everything is pretty much just extra stuff. There are some music discs that I do need to get, so I will have to like potentially animate a lot of item scrolls to get all of the music discs. There's a Staff of the Mistwalker, which I already have one. Can I? Yes, I can. So yeah, there's a bunch of music discs that I need to get. And the main way you get them is from item scrolls. So there is that. There are item scrolls that you can actually make yourself. They're called fabricated scrolls. If we take a look here. Yeah, these right here, fabricated scrolls. Those require loot scraps and amate paper. You get the loot scraps from crunching up specific things in the mortar and pestle. So like all the extra sludge slicers or skull masks or critter crunchers, voodoo dolls, certain rings and stuff. Even the amulet sockets you can crunch up to make these loot scraps, which I will probably actually go ahead and do a little bit of today. The pestle is pretty okay. We'll go ahead and give that a spin. That is still brewing. But yeah, there's our first loot scrap. I already have a Staff of the Mistwalker. It is right there. Here's a Hag Hacker, Sludge Slutcher, Whitebane, Critter Cruncher. I have a ton of amulet slots, so we can go ahead and crunch up a few of those. There we go. Alrighty, what do we get? We got another Hag Hacker. Sure. Let's see, more item scroll. Let's see, potions are still going. Yeah, already have a Hag Hacker, so that one could be crunched up. I'll probably end up doing some of this stuff off camera now that I'm showing you how to do it here. Just because, well, I have 20 of these amulet sockets. I can make some more amulets if I decide to start using the little NPC critters like the tar minions and emberlings and stuff, which I'll technically have to do to get 100% completion. Yeah, here's a sludge slicer. Life crystal is okay. We can animate a couple more things. But I'm pretty sure I already have a sludge slicer. Yes, I do. Which means this one can go ahead and be crunched up. Yes, the potions are just about done. Awesome sauce. We'll go ahead. Let's see. I should have some amate paper. Yes, I have some amate paper already made. So let's take these loot scraps and we'll combine them with the amate paper that I have to make the fabricated scrolls. Got some octane ingots, so not bad. Let me add some more durability to my life crystal here. Ba-da-bum, bum, bum. How does that look? That's 95%. It's 83, 95. 95 is plenty. Put away the mob drops. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and animate a couple of these fabricated scrolls. You pretty much have the same rolls for the fabricated scrolls as you do with the item scrolls. I think there's like a couple small differences from one to the other that you can get. But for the most part, it's the same item pool. But we'll see animating a couple of these real quick, and then we'll continue on. But yes, I'm looking forward to doing the puzzle that is part of the let's see. Oh. So I animated the fabricated scroll and I got loot scraps. So sure, I got 2 loot scraps back from the 3 that it took to make the scroll. Okay, I guess. Sure thing. But I'm looking forward to doing the puzzle that's part of the sludgeon. It does take a while to do because you have to kind of run up and around a bunch of times to get the puzzle done correctly. But that's okay. It's not hard. It's a puzzle. It's just a big light beam puzzle. So if you've ever played, you know, can you please stop giving me loot scraps for the fabricated scroll? I made them with loot scraps. I want to get something else. It's fine. But yeah, if you've ever played pretty much any other video game that has a laser light based puzzle, main ones I can think of off the top of my head are like Skyrim has a few puzzles that are like that. I think Ocarina of Time has a puzzle or 2 like that. I'm sure there's other okay, now you're just being silly, giving me nothing but loot scraps from those fabricated scrolls. Really? Oh well, that's alright. But yeah, there's been plenty of video games over the years that have a puzzle where, you know, bounce the light beams in the correct direction through the correct lenses and you open a door, open up a boss door. So that's basically what you're doing with the one here for the sludgeon. But my elixirs are done, so we'll go ahead and bottle them up. Again, I should be getting 5 per bucket. So I had 3 buckets. That should be 15 total. Yep, there we go. So we have the elixir of feasting, which once again will be regenerating my hunger bar. It is potency 2 and pretty high duration 3, 7 minutes 30 seconds. That will keep, honestly, with this number of potions of elixirs of feasting, I'm probably never gonna, as with the other ones, I'm not gonna have to make any more for the rest of the playthrough. I probably still will at some point, but this is gonna keep me fed in more ways than one for a very long time. Speaking of all of the extra brewing stuff, here's all of the like extra Selowin and Azuin and Biarwas that I've been getting just to brew out enough Ordonis to make the things I've been making. But that's okay. So let's go ahead and refill the potions that I've got here bringing with me. I've got the brew of cat's eye. Make sure I have 3 of those. Let's do the elixir of feasting. We'll bring 3 of them with. We'll bring 3 of the elixirs of healing. I can probably redo the elixirs of healing just to be like potency 2 and then a much higher duration 3. Let's grab that. There we go. Oh, actually, I wanted to grab an elixir of ripening, actually. Just in case I happen to dip my toesies into a bunch of gunge. Alright. Just separate these out. I will probably make some more brew of the cat's eye off camera. Just to go ahead and make it so I've always got at least some night vision potions. It helps. It helps a lot. Okay. So, potions are good. Plenty of each for right now. The next thing we are going to need to bring is some dirt and then a way to light some fires. Because, as we saw previously when we went over to the sludgeon before, there were some braziers up at the top. Those braziers are what are used, once you light them, they create the, I think it's called like the beam origin or beam of origin, something. The laser beam. It creates a laser beam that goes through all the different lenses that you then have to bounce around through the lenses to open up the actual sludgeon entrance itself. Now, as we've seen here in the Betweenlands, it can rain a lot. It can rain pretty often. So you don't want to light the braziers and then have them go out while you're in the middle of the laser beam puzzle and then have to relight them and lose progress in where you're at. Because, oh crap, I forgot where I was trying to go with this laser. So I'm going to bring some dirt along that will cover the braziers, so once they're lit, they won't get rained on. Now, I got a couple options for lighting said braziers. I can just use an octane... Ooh, excuse me. I can use an octane ingot to light some moss, or I should also be able, in theory, to use a pyrad flame to light them. I'm pretty sure it's going to act just like a fire charge in vanilla Minecraft, where you just right-click it and it goes. But I will go ahead, just in case. I will bring an octane ingot and I'll bring some moss with me. Let's bring 8 moss. There are 4. There's 4 braziers, and this will give me enough moss to do it twice, just in case I happen to mess it up. Okay. Got plenty of dirt to build with and to cover the braziers. I've got a couple different ways to light the braziers. Let me go ahead and I should have plenty of arrows. Yeah, I've got plenty of arrows. Let me clean up my bow real quick. Again, not worried about adding scabbers to my bow because it's just the standard weedwood bow. I'll just clean it off and make a new one. Not a big deal. But yeah, I think what I'll do is I'm gonna make a double save, and then using the Ring of Ascent, I'm just gonna float my way over to the sludgeon. Plenty of torches. Yeah, everything else is good. So yeah, let me go ahead and make a double save real quick, and then we'll head on over. So I'll be right back. All right, here we are. We have arrived at the sludgeon. Hello, slime. Little slime. Bouncy slime. Okay, so we have arrived. I'm going to put some swamp dirt on my bar. That way, when these rotten planks and plank slabs decide to fall through, I will be able to just kind of make another little platform. Let's get a brew of the cat's eye going, because I want to be able to see. Much better. Okay. Up we go. Oh, I can't. Okay, then. Sure. Before you could place dirt there to, like... Oh. So you can place dirt along the side like that, but you can't place it directly up. Okay, sure, fine, whatever. The strange interactions between, hey, we're gonna protect this block to make it so you can't cheese the dungeon, but then you can't place it against this block so you can't cheese the dungeon. Okay, whatever. All right, so there, right here, is the beam origin. So right now what I'm just doing is building a quick and dirty little platform above each of the braziers. This will make it so if it does start raining while I'm doing all of this stuff, that the brazier itself doesn't go out, because that would mean I have to relight it. And as we'll see momentarily, when you light it, something happens. Not a big deal. Like, in all honesty, you know, here's some water right here. In all honesty, it's not hard to relight it. It's not like it's a very involved process or anything, but it can be annoying when you are, like I said, trying to do the laser puzzle, and then suddenly the laser beam goes out, and now you have to go and relight it. So, not super difficult or anything. It's just to save myself a bit of an annoyance. That's all. All right. There we go. So all the braziers are good. We'll go ahead and have a quick ball of sap. There. Okay. So, to light the braziers, like I said, you can do one of two things. You can either place some moss down and then light it with an octane ingot, or you should be able to use a pyrad flame, which I think you just right-click it. Let's see. Like so. I don't have many pyrad flames. Oh, well, okay. I'm glad I went ahead and brought extra stuff. So apparently with the pyrad flame, it kind of fires in a random direction. I thought it was just going to be like used right ahead of me, but that's fine. In any event, once you light all 4 braziers, these guys spawn. These are little Emberling shamans. They're not too difficult. They will deal with fire damage. And you have to defeat them. Let's see, where'd you go? Gonna run away for just a second. Eat some food, because we are on fire. There we go. Nice. Got that one. Come over here for a second. Hi. There you are. A little hard to see. They also do keep jumping in the air. Let me dodge over here for just a second. We're gonna swap food. Yes, I know. Have a smoked crab stick. There we go. Okay. Ow. Yes, yes, yes. Nice. Oh, that one. Oh, did I accidentally put it out? I think when I went to swat at the... Is that gonna... That's gonna spawn all of them again. God. Yep. Alright. I think I accidentally... Hi. Okay. Who's going to attack first? I think I accidentally put out one of the fires by swinging at it with my sword when I was trying to attack one of these guys. They're not difficult. They're just like, you know, they keep jumping in the air and they're making little fire paths that you have to dodge. Okay. There we go. Come on. There. Got it. Okay. Again, thankfully enough, I've made a waterproof thing on top because, as you can see, It's raining. Okay. Armor is fine. We got some undying embers, which are actually good things. There are wild emberlings that you can find out in the wild that you can feed these undying embers to, and that will tame them. You can also use them as a smelting resource, and they will smelt 100 items. So very very useful fuel. I really don't plan on using them as fuel. If I find an emberling, I will probably use it to tame it, because you can. Okay. All right. But for now, it's time to get started with the puzzle. As we can see, we've got a bunch of these rotten barks already falling away, so that's why I'm just kind of filling up the holes that they leave, just so I don't fall through by accident. The goal is to get the beam to go through that right there. Hi, White. Thank you. Goodness. We're getting pretty hard there for a second. Okay. There we go. So yeah, once we get the beam into here, it will activate the door and make it so it lights up and the door moves and we get into the actual sludging. So you kind of have to go back and forth between tracing where the beams are coming from and then where they're going to get it to beam in the correct direction. So yeah, I need the beam to get to here. So it hits here, 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 and the door. So from here, I need it to come through this spot here, which means I need it to beam through this spot. If we go up one level and then circle around, it needs to go through about there. So this is why I said the puzzle can take a while to figure out fully, but we're going to be working on it. Okay, from this first point, as we can see, the only spot the beam can go beyond going down, which does nothing, is go to this point here. There's no other spots for the beam to go. There's no other lenses around. So we need the lens to point in this direction. Okay, now it's trying to go downwards, and we need to move that to either this spot here or that spot over there. There's no lenses in the ceiling, so we need to go up and then rotate around once. This is where, again, if you are running around this several times, you'll want to fill in the... Here we go. Ah, there we go, White's heart. You want to be filling in these gaps as the blocks fall, just so that way you don't lose track of where you're trying to run to next. Because it can be very annoying to have to, like, continuously remember, okay, I need to run back up 3/4 turn and then go. Okay. So, beam is coming through here. Head and eat to fill up real quick. Okay. Perfect. So we can go to this spot and go down. There's no other lens here. Or we can go to this spot and go down. There's no lens up at the top either way. So let's try going here and down. Let's see how close that gets us. You'll see there are some lenses in the floor And there will be some lenses in the ceiling that will need to adjust as well. There we go. And then let's put block right here. And then we need one there. Okay. So that is on this side right here. Again, we are looking for rotate around. Okay. Let's take a look back at the doorway. We need to aim for this lens right here. So to get to... rid of those roots. To get to that lens, we need to go to this lens here. We can probably, if we can hit the lens in the floor, we can get to that because that is the only spot. Okay. So taking a look at our options. We can... nothing that way. Nothing that way. Nothing that way. Let's try and direct it to this one and then back up and then see where it can go from there. So we'll circle around. In here. Rotate the lens. That way does nothing. That way does nothing. That way. Obviously nothing in the floor. So we're going to go back up through that lens. And then we'll take a look and see where it goes. Okay. We are now here. Well, going up does nothing, but the next direction we can go is to here, which will bring it down. So we need to go up one and then rotate one forward, which should bring us to the correct room right here. Perfect. Okay. Up does nothing. That direction does nothing. That direction does nothing. This direction, I will just show real quick, just ends at a blank spot here. So, looks like most likely our target is here. That beams downwards. So, let's go take a look and see where that leads us. We are definitely getting somewhere. The question is the somewhere we're getting where we need to go? We need it eventually to get to here. So, let's rotate around 2 rooms and see where we can get the laser to go from there. I'm not worried about gathering up all this sludge. I have plenty of it. Oh, didn't mean to turn that on. Gather up these rotten plank slabs just to get them out of the way. Okay. So from here, the only direction this beam can go is here. And then the only direction is up. Okay. Let's head up. Ooh. Block that up. And then block that up. And then block that up. And then we need to block this up too. This is why I brought a couple stacks of dirt with me. Okay. So we need to go up and rotate 1 room. Up and rotate 1 room. Like so. Here we go. Here's our lens. Nope. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. That direction goes nothing. That's a hole. Okay. So going up is going to do nothing to this lens. So yeah, going downwards is probably where it needs to go. Let us go up. We'll rotate the other way one room and then should be able to see where this next laser goes. All right, so that's going straight down. Again, facing it in any other direction is not going to get us anywhere. So we'll head all the way down to the bottom. Okay. So this is where it is ending up. So it means we now need to aim it at this crystal and then most likely up through the roof because there's no other crystals this way that it can go. So outside and rotate one room. All right, here we are. Beam that way does nothing. Beam that way does nothing. That way. Here we are. Okay. So, from here, beam goes up through there. Let's head up and see where this gets us. We'll need to go all the way up and rotate one room. I don't think this is gonna get us anywhere. Because it's currently stopped here. The only other next spot is here, and that just creates a circle all the way around. So what I might need to do is instead of going downwards here, I need to go to this crystal. Again, it's a puzzle. It's going to take a little bit of time. Yeah, because right now we're stopped here and there's no other crystals to interact with. Again, I can have it focused to here, but that just creates a circuit. So let's go up and rotate one room back. And then aim it in that direction, see what that gets us. Okay, so instead of going for that, let's aim it to that crystal. Okay. So yeah, from the origin, down and over, we're bouncing downwards. What? Oh, some more blocks are falling. That's fine. Put a dirt there, move along. Okay, we're at this crystal here. From here, well, the only option is to send it along to this crystal. From here, the only option is to send it up to this crystal, or to that pathway. Let's rotate around one and see where this gets us. Okay. That crystal brings us here. Is there a spot going straight up? I don't think so. But we'll double check real quick. Let's rotate all the way up and see. No, there's no lens in the floor. Okay. Back down we go. Have some food and a ball of sap. Continue. So, up here, the only spot is gonna be over there. Okay. So for that, we need to go up and rotate 2 rooms. So this is 1 room, this is 2 rooms. And you can see why I said this would be a pain in the butt to have to keep relighting the thingy every time. Okay. Only spot here is directly up. So, because obviously here is blocked, there is blocked, and it's coming from there to there. So, head up. And we've got our beam here. Okay. Only spot to go from here is towards this crystal. That crystal brings us down. And let's see where this beam now goes. That is going to be that one right there. So that should go to this crystal here, I believe, and then out through the floor. Okay, so we need to go up and rotate one room. Back down. There we are. So from here, beam is gonna go right click it. Thank you. There we go. Okay. So we need to go up and then rotate 2 rooms to get to there. So rotate 1 room and 2 rooms. Back down. All right. So, yep, that'll get us through the floor here. Shine it through. There we go. Down through the floor. And let's see where this puts us. Hello, White. There we go. Again, pick up the rotten slabs just to get them gone. Let's go ahead and eat. Has a ball of sap. Just to keep that going. Let's switch over to the smoked anadia meat. Okay. So that... we need to rotate 1 room. Okay. From here, where can the beam go? Ah, the beam goes out. Aha! Here we go. I believe we've got it. The beam goes this direction here. It goes outside. From outside, we go to that lens. That brings us to here. And last but not least, ta-da! We've done it. All right. That is the entrance to the sludgeon. So we've got the laser beam puzzle all completely done. Now, if you notice, all of the little crystals are gone now. Well, except for the ones that are like in the actual floor. Yeah, all the laser lenses that we have been focusing with, they're all gone. The braziers are still lit. The main crystal itself here is gone, and the beam passages, like I said, are still here. And everything, of course, up here is still protected, so you can't like start dismantling this. But yeah, that is the laser beam puzzle to get access to the sludgeon. Now again, the sludgeon itself is fairly long. We won't be able to do all of it today, but we can do at least a little bit of it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one more double save. We're at roughly, let's see, we're at roughly about 40 or so minutes for the episode so far. I'm going to make one more double save, and then we're going to do a little bit of delving. Actually, also, let me do this. New sludgeon in progress. That way I've got a little marker for it for when I head back to base. Sludgeon in progress. There we go. Cool. So I'm going to make another double save real quick. And then we will go ahead and proceed into the sludgeon a little ways and get us some goodies. We can go ahead and put away all this stuff. I will keep... Hi. Hello, little white. Come on. There we go. I will keep the I'll keep the swamp dirt out in case I need it for anything. But yes, let's go ahead and make a double save, and we'll start getting some goodies from in here. So I will be right back again. All right, let us dive in. I do need to bring the sickle with me, as well as my shears, because, as we said previously, some of the ingredients for the rest of the elixirs and stuff are only found inside the sludgeon. So, there we go. The advancement, a real poopy experience. And that is... enter the labyrinthine vaults. So, we've got some small sludge worms, which aren't, you know, hard to fight. Got mud bricks. So, what we're going to be doing as we go through is we're going to be popping open these dungeon alcoves. Those are going to have loot for us. They're basically pots of chance. We need to remember this dungeon door code, because on each level of the dungeon there is a dungeon door that we have to solve. It's essentially a rotating block puzzle that we'll need to rotate the correct way. I know I already have plenty of flathead mushrooms in terms of for brewing and stuff. I'm just going to be using the sickle for a while to collect stuff. Ooh, hi there. I'm just going to be using the sickle for a while to collect stuff, the ingredients. This is unfortunately the annoyance. There we go. Okay. So those are little creatures that pop out from these dungeon alcoves whenever you pop one of the little pots in there. They drop these cremains. The cremains, most importantly, they are used to make the sensors. The sensors are what are used for raisin black, midnight purple, and pewter gray. Interesting. The sensor is what's used to get the aspect seeds going to make the aspectress fruit, which is why I said you really have to go into the sludgeon to get the stuff to start doing that. The only problem with fighting those enemies, they're not difficult. They're not difficult. It's just they fly around. They use the same flight pattern as the Vex do. The Vexes. So they are a pain in the butt to be like trying to fight because they'll just keep flitting all over the place. It's getting stupid dark in here, so you know what that means. It's time for a night vision potion. Let's go ahead and grab another night vision potion. I'm pretty sure you can light up this area with, actually, you know what? Oh, give me that back. Thank you. Before I use a night vision potion, can I place glowing gloop? I cannot. Oh, so I can place it on the walls, but I can't place it on the ceiling because the ceiling is protected. But I can place it on the walls like this. Okay, you know what? That's not bad. That's not terrible. It makes it so I can see a little easier. That'll work. And glowing gloop, hi. Glowing gloop is free. You know, you can make tons of it pretty easy. There we go. Yeah, I'll just use this as a light source for a bit. I could use torches, but torches cost sulfur. I could use a night vision potion, but this I kind of like this. So yeah, off camera, I will have to remind myself to make a bunch more glowing gloop. That way I can light up this area pretty well. Okay. And here, yeah, these ash sprites. Like I said, they use the same type of attack pattern as the Vexes do, where they just kind of like float through the walls, which means they can be very much a pain in the butt to actually try and fight, because they'll just float around and make it very hard for you to hit them. They'll float through the walls like that, and then they'll just suddenly appear. Come on. You don't want to aggro too many at once, because again, they'll just keep kind of floating around you. Yep. They're a pain in the butt to fight. Although, if I remember correctly, I think... Oh, worms. I think I can use the voodoo doll, actually, to do damage to them. I have a voodoo doll or two. You know, that hoodoo that you do so well. Oh, no, I didn't. I thought I killed it. I didn't. There we go. That one's dead. Go ahead and deloot real quick. There we go. Yeah, definitely got to remind myself to make more, gotta remind myself to make more glowing gloop, which is not hard. And we'll be using that for a lot of the lighting. You almost don't want knockback on your sword to fight these guys, because then you'll be like tossing them backwards into the walls more often. Okay. In the corners here, as we've been seeing, we do have some organics. There's been some pale grass. There's edge shrooms, edge moss. Oh, hi. Trying to destroy these these wormholes when I can. Oh, my armor is taking so much damage. Hey, there we go. Disgracing the dead. For opening a certain number of these pots of chance. There we go. Yeah, like I said, we've got these rot bulbs. The flathead mushrooms or whatever. Flathead, blackhead mushrooms. I've got tons. I don't care if I happen to boop one or two of them with the sickle. If I do, it's no big deal. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, my durability. But I'd rather keep the sickle out, so that way I can be collecting the actual drops. There we go. I want to keep the sickle out so I can be collecting the actual drops from the organics in here that I need. Instead of like accidentally just destroying the stuff. There we go. Well, if I ever need more fishing stuff, I can definitely make sure I come in here and keep capturing a ton of these tiny worms. Because they're getting me a lot of stuff. Especially these sludge worm egg sacs. Okay. There's a pot. There's mud bricks. There. You'll notice these little holes in the floor. These broken mud tiles. As you can see, they have stagnant water under them. I'm trying to not... There we go. I'm trying to not break them, but if you break them, it's no big deal. It's just want to make sure you dodge them. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can empty them out with a bucket, just like you can in regular places. This is a wall candle. I can't break this, can I? Nope, I can't break that. That's fine. Let's put that there, and then we'll turn that wall candle on to get some more light here. Go, item scrolls. Food is doing okay. Let me go ahead and eat just a sap jello. But yeah, so this is going to be pretty much the basis of this dungeon, is going through all the pathways, finding, all the little bits of loot until you get to the dungeon door. You open up the dungeon door and you go to the next level. Bloop. Bloop, bloop. It's like a dead end here. There's going to be a few of those. Huh. Candle back here. Can I don't think I can take the candle out of that, considering... Oh, you can. Okay. But you can't break the pot. That's fine. Hey, free torch. Free torch. That. Edge moss. There we go. Again, the little ash guys, they're not difficult. You just want to try and kill them before they fly away a bunch. The roof is all drippy. Thump. Thumpage outside. Head and get all those things into my body. Wait for the little ash guy to come attack, because we know he's going to. There you are. There we go. Definitely glad to be collecting these cremains. Be able to make the item that I need. Moving along. Okay, so that's... oh, hi. Moving along. Let's see. Go. So it looks like we gotta go this way. And we also have this way. My boots are taking a beating. I will probably have to, like I said, I'm planning on doing this dungeon in multiple stages anyway, but I'm probably definitively going to need to do it in multiple stages just so I can go and repair my stuff in between levels. I do not want to risk my Valenite stuff breaking. It's got good durability, but also it's going to take quite a beating from all the critters that are in here. Go. Yep. That wormhole closed up. The wormholes will close on their own. But you can defeat them to close them early and have the worms stop spawning. Let's see. Go ahead and de-loot real quick. Getting a nice amount of organics from all these. Oh, hi. Wormhole. Alright. As to not waste my torches, aka wasting my sulfur, I am most definitely going to be relying on these glowing gloops to be my light source in here. So I want to make probably a few stacks of them before I come back in here. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is, because this episode is going to be, you know, not scattered per se, but a little bit, you know, have to do a pinch of editing given travel times and such. I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to call this episode here. It's going to be probably a little bit of a shorter episode, give or take. But what I will do is I will head back to base, make a bunch more of the glowing gloops, make sure that I've got all of my armor fully repaired. I think I probably should also re-up some of my food. And then we'll come back here and take on the dungeon one level at a time. You know, I wasn't even really planning full on like taking the sludgeon itself on, because I wasn't sure exactly how long it was going to take to do this puzzle. So yeah, I think we'll call it good here. And like I said, I'll head back to base, repair everything, make a ton of lighting stuff, so that way we'll be able to start fresh next episode with actually full on delving inside the dungeon, or the sludgeon, labyrinthian vaults, and get all of the goodies that we can from it. The sludgeon itself, the labyrinthine vaults, are probably going to take a couple sessions to do, but that's okay. But until next time, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you have a good day and good game.